Derrick White has replaced Kawhi Leonard on the roster as Kawhi continues to nurse a right knee injury that he aggravated during the NBA playoffs. Executive Director Grant Hill said it was a Team USA decision to send him home from training camp. And Jaylen Brown, by the way, he took social media and took notice, reacting to the decision, posting the face with the monocle emoji. I know Seth is big with the emojis. He did it 3 times, followed by another which read, Nike, this what we doing?
And so many thought the obvious replacement would be Jaylen Brown, who's kind of a slightly worse version of Kawhi, but they sort of do the same thing. Incredible two-way players, good mid-range game. And so people just said, all right, well, they'll call in Jaylen Brown and, the beat will go on. But Team USA went in a completely different direction, going with a guard instead of a wing and more of a role player. But the kicker and, the funny part about it is Team USA went with another Celtic, Derrick White. And that did shock some people. Not just because Jaylen Brown didn't make it, but you could argue that there were some guards in the NBA that probably should have gotten it over Derrick White, at least on pure talent. I'm talking about Kyrie Irving and I'm talking about Jalen Brunson. So there was sort of a strong reaction to the choice. Nowhere did Jaylen Brown say, hey, congratulations to my teammate Derrick White, the dude that I played, 8 or 9 months with, and we won a ring together. A guy that sacrificed a lot like Derrick White to perform the role that Marcus Smart could never do. None of that from Jaylen Brown. Just anger. He's at the ESPYs the other night and they asked Jaylen about it and all he gives is a no comment. Again, just, not putting the flames out on this, topic. And what concerns for me is the chemistry of the Celtics. Because I really do think Jaylen Brown's sucking right now. Is it tough that he didn't make it? Yes. But before the playoffs started, he was borderline at best. Recency bias is a hell of a drug. Remember that Jaylen Brown did not make an All-NBA team. Before the playoffs started, nobody really cared. Because at times, Kristaps was the second best player on the Celtics. Jaylen Brown averaged 22 and 6. A great year, but certainly not a superstar stat line. But then in the playoffs, obviously, he pulled up and he was incredible. So now people got things to say, and so does Jaylen Brown. But they went in a completely different direction. It's not like they chose Brandon Ingram over him. So sure, Jaylen can be mad and motivated and all of that, but I think he's taking it too personally. Plus, he's being a horrendous teammate right now. Sure, you can send that first emoji with, the eyes that you see and, maybe it's motivation to hit the gym, to work on the foul shot so you're not shooting like Shaquille O'Neal at the line. Motivation is always a good thing. It's the same reason why I was happy Tatum didn't win Finals MVP. There's something else to play for, to avoid being complacent. The same to me could apply to Jaylen Brown. But he just kind of keeps leaning into it. And because it's his own teammate that got the benefit, I think it's becoming kind of pathetic. They're going to have to see each other in camp in October. And will Derrick White be a little hurt that Jaylen thought so little of him that it was almost a joke that Derrick White, of all people, would make the team over Jaylen? How is White supposed to feel about that? And the rest of the team? I think it's a really bad look for JB. Again, had it been an Ingram or somebody on another team that they selected that was clearly worse than Jaylen, sure, whatever. Jaylen Brown's not somebody that really makes friends in the NBA, hence why he's probably not on Team USA to begin with, just like Isaiah Thomas was in 1992. Everybody kind of hated IT back then. He was a jerk, he was on that bad boy Pistons team that just basically punched everybody and assaulted them in the lane. I don't get the sense that, the NBA community really likes Jaylen all that much. And the NBA is like the clickiness of a middle school. So there's probably a few reasons why Jaylen didn't make the team. Plus, it's run by Nike, and Jaylen just continuously hates on Nike. You can't talk smack about somebody and then get sad that they didn't invite you to their party. It's kind of twisted logic. And the Celtics had just won and they're bringing everybody back and they're the clear favorites. And the only thing, in my opinion, that could get in the way of the Celtics repeating is the Celtics. And something like this, in the way that Jaylen Brown is handling it, I personally think is embarrassing. And sorry, Jaylen is not better than Jason. Would love to see how Jaylen would manage double teams for an entire postseason with his mediocre left hand. The Finals MVP does not mean they're the best player on the team. So yes, should Jaylen be on the team? Maybe. Probably as Kawhi's replacement, but he didn't. But it's not like they didn't bring like Durant or LeBron. Jaylen Brown is not at that level. He was fringe at best, and I would think somebody as, intelligent as Jaylen Brown would handle this a lot better. Because Jaylen's also probably the leader of the Celtics. And I think this is a horrendous look. Like, what happens when Jaylen doesn't get what he wants? He starts crying. He got his incredibly lucrative contract that made him the highest player in the league. He got his role with the Celtics. He got to do what he wanted in the playoffs, and he won Finals MVP. Just be happy with that. Be motivated. But don't completely humiliate your teammate Derrick White. And the Celtics organization, for that matter. So I've hated this from Jaylen Brown. I hope he kind of finally shuts up, gets back to enjoying his well-earned offseason, and then, 4 years from now, if he keeps playing the way he is, he won't be a borderline player. He'll be one of the faces of the team.